Hello, this is Mrs. White, and I'll be talking about the 5 postulates of the theory of natural selection. Now, there are 5 postulates of the theory of natural selection, and we're going to discuss this each today. So the first one is variation exists among individuals in a species. Individuals of species compete for resources. The third one, the competition leads to death of some individuals while others survive. The fourth one, individuals who survives are more likely to reproduce and pass their traits to their offspring. And the fifth postulate, over time, species evolve. Now, variation exists among individuals in a species, which means the individuals of the same species are not exactly the same. Individuals have different combination of traits. And this variety of traits in a species is called diversity. So as you can see here, these are all mussels and they have varied characteristics, but they all belong to one species, which is the mussel. So variation exists among individuals in a species. The second postulate says that individuals compete for resources. Now, organisms produce more offspring than can survive, and therefore individuals must compete for limited resources. And that leads to competition. And competition is the struggle between individuals of the same species or maybe different species for resources such as space, water, air, and mates. And individuals with better traits will, as you have to say, win the competition for resources. As you can see here on this picture, these sea anemones are competing for space in a rocky pool of sea water. The third postulate is competition leads to death of some individuals whilst others survive. Now, competition leads to survival of the fittest. And when you say fitness, it describes how successful an individual is able to obtain resources, survive, and reproduce species. Now, individuals with favorable traits are better suited to their environment and are considered to be more fit. And these individuals outcompete those with less favorable traits, or we also call that less fit. And these favorable traits are called adaptation. Now, we say that individuals who have adaptations are well adapted to the environment. And we've seen that in our experiment on the challenge that we did, the survival challenge, wherein different adaptations can lead to different outcomes, whether the organism can survive the environment where it's at or not. The next postulate is individuals who survive are more likely to reproduce and pass their traits to their offspring. Now, these successful individuals are those that are well adapted to their environment, and if they're adapted to their environment and have the favorable trait, they're most likely are the ones who will reproduce and pass that favorable traits to their offspring. And those with unfavorable traits may die or leave fewer offspring. So in this flowchart right here, you can see that if organisms are well adapted, they will survive and they'll reproduce. And this is the basic context of what natural selection is as a process. And of course, with this process happening over time, species evolve. And the frequency of traits in the entire species change. And the advantageous traits become more frequent in the species, and the less advantageous traits become less frequent. And over time, the species as a whole becomes increasingly successful. So to visualize the evolution of species in this diagram, as you can see, the pink characteristic is the more favorable or better traits. And so over time, these individuals with the pink trait will survive and reproduce more than the green one, and the frequency of the individuals with the pink trait will increase, while the not so favorable trait, which is the green one, decreases. Now, this is the process of natural selection. And I hope that you understood that the process is in itself takes a long period of time to occur. I hope this helps in understanding in detail what natural selection means. And I'll see you in class. Bye.